Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are doing well. And so today I just wanted to come on and do a Telfar bag review. Right now I still have the bag in its original dust bag. I did remove some of the other things that were inside of it, but I figured I'd just come on and we can run through a quick review of what I feel of the bag or what I think of it. I'm also going to upload a, what's in my travel bag, considering that I do use this Telfar bag as a travel bag. And so let's go ahead and get started. So here up close, this is what the medium Telfar bag looks like. I still do have, the little tag on it. It comes with this tag. It tells you kind of the design type. I have the color in silver, and the tag also mentions that's a size 0. So this is my first kind of luxury type bag review. I don't know any of the specs or really anything. I feel like you would know specifically about this bag. I just want to show you exactly what it has and what it comes with, and I'll also just give you my honest opinion on what I think of the bag. So again, just to give you a quick overview, this is what the front of the bag looks like. As you know, they come with these two miniature handles that you can use to just hold kind of like this, or sometimes I'll hold it on my arm like so. And then you also have the shoulder strap handles, which are these two long straps. And I think in the beginning why I said I won't use this medium-sized Telfar bag as an everyday shopping bag is because I do believe that these shoulder straps are a bit long for me. Just for my height, when I wear this bag, it kind of goes, almost down to my knees a little bit because I'm not that tall. So I just think it's kind of much to be carrying around every day. I do think that if I were to just hold the bags by the handle, then it would be something that I could bring when I'm maybe going grocery shopping or things like that. Or potentially as a work bag, after quarantine. But other than that, I think it works pretty well for travel. So let's go ahead and get into the bag a bit more. So if we go ahead and move the strap, if I open up the bag, it comes with this little hook. That's how you're able to open and close it. So if we pop open the hook, this is just what the inside of the bag looks like. You have this more gray cream interior. I do think that the feel of the bag, the inside kind of gray interior, does feel like a good durable quality. I'm not sure if you were to get it, dirty on the inside, how easy it would be to clean. That's something I haven't tested out yet. I do think maybe if you have a Clorox wipe or just any type of antibacterial wipe, you might be able to scrub off any dirt or residue. But as of now, I do think that the inside of the bag is pretty nice. And I say that in that if it ever gets ripped, I think it will take a lot for the inside of the bag to tear and some of your items to kind of fall to the bottom. So just moving on from there, so we do have right here on the inside, we have this first zipper loop. You'll also notice you'll have the Telfar just kind of signature right there. I think that's really pretty. I think it's a nice size. I don't have the small version, but I did hear that, the small version can be this little tag on the inside can be a bit too large and it might cover up the zipper portion. But I think that on the medium bag, the logo is a nice touch, and it's a nice size. It's not in the way of the zipper. One thing I really like about this bag, and I'll bring it up close a little bit more, is that the zipper portion where you can hold your items such as your wallet, if you're traveling, like a passport, etc., is pretty big. It's very long, so it's not just like a short space. You have a lot of space when you open it up. So once I open up the bag, it extends. You have like an extensive length, and it's also pretty deep. I do think that the pocket inside is pretty thick. Like it goes to about this much of my arm, which I think is quite a lot. So I do think that the inside pocket of the bag is incredibly deep. I can put my entire, fist inside of the bag. It'll definitely hold your wallet, your keys, even your phone, like any of the items that you want to protect and just don't want loose inside of your bag. You can store them in this pocket. I definitely believe that there's enough space in there and that it'll be able to protect your items. Apart from this one zipper, that is the only other kind of pocket corner in the bag. Everything else is just the general open space that's inside of it. I do think for the medium size bag, the width, the bag is pretty deep. You can hold quite a few things. Since I use this as a travel bag, I won't lie, it does get pretty heavy. It's not like you can store a lot of items in it and it'll feel lightweight. To me, this bag is a bit heavy. Another thing is if you put too many things inside of the bag, you aren't able to actually, pin it shut with the button that's there. And so that's just one thing you'll have to keep in mind. However, I do like, though, that this bag isn't, to me, necessarily slouchy. So I'm going to go ahead and hold it up again. You see that with the bag closed, this is just the back of it, it does kind of hold its shape, as you can see here. And this is the type of shape that I like. I like that when my bags have nothing in it, they don't fall, slouch and flat like that. And they kind of hold its shape pretty well. And I do like when the corners kind of come in and close together. The only thing I would wish that this bag had is just for extra security is it can keep, the button flap here, but it would be nice if it could have, a zipper that actually closes the bag entirely. But again, I would just say that if you are someone that's similar to me and you want that extra protection and security, you would just leave your items inside of that pocket within the bag, and then just make sure you hold it, on you a bit more tightly. So just to reiterate a few of the good things I like about it, I do think the size works well, at least for me, in terms of, well, this is one thing. If I'm not kind of holding it upright, it does fold into itself. So this can be good or bad depending on how you like to store your bags and how you like your bags to look when they're not being in use. For me, I'm much more keep my bags on a shelf and have them stand up like this. But again, it does come with inside like a little piece of like cardboard that you can use and keep it inside your bag when you're not using it to hold it upright. I removed it for the time being, but the only thing is it keeps its shape, but it's not all the time. It just kind of depends on how you're storing the bag. And so that can be a bit of a pro and con. I like that it'll stay like this, but I hate that if I were to put the bag down sometimes and it's not on a complete flat surface, it'll fall into itself. And so that's just one thing to keep in mind. The biggest drawback for me of this bag is that it scratches very, very easily. Like when I first got the bag, as a gift, and I used it and I went home and I already noticed the scratch on it. And when I opened up this bag, I just went to a dinner and I had the bag sitting on a chair because I don't like to put my bags on the ground. And so I had it on a chair, and then I get home and I'm like, why is it already scratched? It's not like I was walking and moving with it. I only took that bag from my home to the restaurant on the chair, from the restaurant back home. And so that really, really threw me. I did, like I mentioned before, I used the bag for travel, so I went through the airport. Second time using it, I'm not sure if you can see. Oh yeah, you can see it on camera. But there are quite a bit of like kind of scratch marks on the bag. I try and be as gentle as I can with it, but I just think it could just be the color that I have in this, bright silver. It just scratches very easily and you can see the scratch marks. And that's not something that I want within a luxury bag that wasn't very, it wasn't cheap. And so I would just wish that it didn't scratch as easily. It could be whatever. I don't know exactly what material it's made out of, so it could be just that material that causes the bag to scratch. But I do have like all over the T logo mark. This is probably my third time holding this bag. And so that is probably the biggest con for me, is definitely the scratch marks. And so just to kind of wrap this video up, because I will be showing you how I, will use this bag in the future for travel, what I store in it. I do like the bag. I would give it maybe an 8 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. And that's more so because I use it for travel. I think it's really great for travel. I typically don't like to just bring, a large purse with me. And I like to store my other purses inside of my travel bag. And so this bag for me is big enough for me to store a second mini person as well as my large like hydro flask water bottle. And so that's kind of why I love it. I think it's pretty great for travel, but again, I think it just scratches way too easily, and even on the handle, just like the string, it's not bad yet, but I can see in the future that it's already kind of lifting up and scratching out, and so that is another drawback for me. But other than that, I definitely would give it a 7 or 8 out of 10. I think I need to use it a bit more. The biggest drawback again is just the scratches. Like, it's all over the back. And I was like, I've only used this bag twice, so why is it so, why is it so scratched up? But it was it was a gift. I think that if I were to ever purchase a Telfar bag for myself, because I do like the brand, I like the company, I love that it's a black owned business, I would get the mini. Even though I don't have one, I saw one in person. This woman had the black Telfar mini, even the baby blue. I think those colors are beautiful. I would definitely get the black one because I can't do with the scratches. I don't like seeing them, and I feel like if it scratches up on the black bag, it won't be as visible, which is really nice. And I just love the size of it. Like, I saw it on that woman. She was, a lot smaller than me, so I'm curious to see what it would look like on myself. But I think it was a really nice, like, quaint size where I could store all the items that I needed in it, and it would be fine. I also am not a huge fan, like I thought I would be, of the double strap. I do like that I have the option to wear it as a shoulder bag. I love the handle. Like this, I love this so much. The biggest drawback is the shoulder strap. I don't like that you can't remove it. Like, I thought I would be a big fan of just having it kind of hang, like so as I hold the bag. And then just as I use it, to me personally, it's just not something that I enjoy seeing. I don't like seeing the handles hanging off the bottom of the bag. It looks a little bit messy to me, and so I wish that I like that we have the strap. I just wish that you could remove it and then reattach it, because what I just do now when my bag isn't extremely full, I would just stuff the handles on the inside and just try and make it look as neat as possible. But then it can just kind of get a little messy, and you can even see here that not all of the handle goes in correctly. And so I just wish that I could remove the straps and then apply it when I need to. It works for what I need it to work for. The only changes that I would want is that you can remove the strap. It has a zipper to completely close the bag, because once this bag is full, it's full. It's not buttoning up. Like, it doesn't have to be full to the brim. It's like once you expand it too much with your items, there's literally no way to close it. Well, actually, maybe I just realized, because I don't really use this bag that often, that I still have a piece of plastic on it. And so now I'm wondering if maybe that's what was hindering the bag from closing when I had it pretty full. So that's something I will definitely test out. And now I'm wondering if the bag is, expanded, but I'm still able to push it together, will it stay? Because what I had when I was traveling was everything fit in the bag perfectly, it was fine. I was able to push the two, pins together, but it just kept undoing itself. And so now I'm wondering, since I just removed that piece of plastic that I didn't notice before, if that's what was causing the bag to hinder. So if you stay tuned and you watch what I keep in my travel bag, I will go ahead and test out that theory of whether or not that piece of plastic was the reason why the bag wasn't closing. But other than that, I do think it's a really pretty bag. I love this color. It did its job. It helped me get through the chaos of the airport. I don't know if I would 100% recommend for everyone to use it as a travel bag because of the scratches. It just depends on how you feel about, your expensive purses going, you know, in shelves in the airport and going through TSA and kind of being placed anywhere. Like I mentioned, I'm someone who doesn't like to keep their bag on the ground, but as I'm traveling through the airport and going through airport security, there's a chance that my bag can get a little bit mishandled and kind of placed anywhere. And so that's just one thing to keep in mind. I do love the dust bag that it came with. I'm holding on to it. I don't have footage of me opening it, but I do remember I was a little bit shocked by how it looked in the bag, because it came, like, you got the dust bag, but then it also came inside of this big Telfar plastic bag. And I guess for a luxury bag, I thought it would look a little more different when you open it up, because to be fair, this is my first luxury bag, so I'm not exactly sure what it would look like. But I do love this dust bag. It's a little bit wrinkly, but I mean, it's large enough to where you can store your purse in it and keep it up. And that's one thing I wanted to also bring up. Although I've only used this bag a couple times, when I'm not using it, I store it inside of this dust bag. And so it's not like it's just sitting on my shelf, you know, getting other bags touching against it and scratching it up. It's sitting in the bag. And so just the fact that it's able to be scratched up so easily, it's a bit of a drawback for me. But again, I want to say it's how you use the bag and how cautious you are with it. I have to keep in mind that I use this bag for travel. Travel can be a bit hectic. Things can get tossed around. So it couldn't have necessarily been, you know, me just walking and a light grace is what scratched the bag. It could have been as it was going through the TSA checkpoint, security touching it and grabbing it. They could have accidentally knocked it against something a lot more rough, and that's what caused the tear. But I guess I would think that for a bag that is this expensive, it would be able to withstand, you know, getting scratched against something rough. So that's just one thing to note. I am curious about what material this bag is made out of. Other than that, would I recommend buying it? I would recommend buying the medium if you're going to use it for something like work, travel, shopping. If you're about 5'2" to 5'4", which is very similar to my height, I'm not sure if I would recommend using this as an everyday bag, just because it's fairly large. Like on me, unless you're wearing it with just the handle strap, it's fine. But if you're using the shoulder strap, the bag hangs low. And if it's not, it hangs low and there's really no shoulder support. So if you kind of pack that bag heavy, it's gonna hurt. Like your shoulders are gonna be hanging down and your wrists are gonna be hard. And so for me, I was able to get away with it because I typically place the bag on my suitcase and just roll it. But I think it's beautiful. It's really pretty, even from far away, like right here. You can't even tell that there's scratches on it. It looks amazing in the light. I just wonder how you can't even see the straps sometimes. Like if it wasn't hanging out, I think I would give it like an 8.5. If the straps were detachable, if it had a zipper, if it didn't get scratched so easily, I honestly would give it a 10. But because of all those things, 7.5. So you decide, you be the judge of the type of bag that you want, and go ahead and let me know down below what you thought of this review, and if you have the Telfar bag, what you think of it. And if you don't have the bag, please go ahead and let me know why you plan on buying it. And if you have it and you necessarily don't like it, let me know why you don't like it, maybe why you're thinking of selling it. All right, thank you guys so much, and I hope that you have an amazing day. Bye. Oh, I sound like a Disney witch. Telfar. I think the logo is pretty. Like, look at this. It's just those scratches.